Hi, I'm Mike Bednarski. I'm the Chief of Fisheries over at the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries. And what we've got here today is a new video series we're starting called What's in My Tackle Box. We here at DGIF love to fish and love to see our constituents catch more fish, so we wanted to talk about what we like to throw and hopefully help you catch a bit more fish. So one thing about me is I love to bass fish, and with spring in the air, summer coming, it's the perfect time to topwater fish, and I wanted to take a moment today to go through some of my favorite topwater baits and hopefully provide some tips for you that'll help you put more fish in the boat this summer. The first thing I'd like to show you is one of my favorite topwater baits. This is a popper. I throw this on a 6'6" medium action bait casting rod, and I really like to use braided line for this and all my other topwaters. The braided line has no stretch, allows you to cast a bit further, get a good hook set, and to basically have line that's almost impossible to break. I run about 40-pound line with this and 50-pound for some of the other topwaters I throw. The thing I want to show you is you'll see that this popper is a little bit different than what you might see. I actually clip the bottom lip a little bit here, I sand the sides, and I get rid of the feathers on the tail. And what that does is it gives you a really great bait that walks back and forth and really triggers a lot of strikes. I like to throw this over scattered cover in the post-spawn in the summer period, as well as around targets, and it's a really good way to get a number of fish really quickly, particularly under low light conditions. But don't be afraid to throw it when it gets really sunny. Fish will orient to the shade. Another of my favorites to throw is a buzz bait here. I really like a half-ounce buzz bait. I can throw it a little bit further, and it's a really great bait to catch big fish. I like a chartreuse or chartreuse and white. I'm looking for something loud, something I can fish fast. And this is a really great way to trigger big fish, particularly early in the morning around heavy cover. This is another one to not put down even in the heat of summer. I've had some of the best days I've ever had on a buzz bait when the air temperature is 95 degrees and the water is about 85. In that vein, another topwater I really like to throw are these buzzing frogs. I either throw a darker colored or a lighter colored one, depending on conditions. Basically, I usually start out with a darker colored one, and if I'm missing strikes, I fish the lighter colored one. I like to throw these on a 5/0 hook, 50-pound line, and I'm throwing these on a 7'11" heavy action rod, basically what you'd use as a flipping stick. What this does is this lets me cast a bit further, and if I get a fish in really heavy cover, it gives me a really solid ability to pull it out. And with those, you can fish those in very heavy cover, really bright light conditions as well too. When you get that bright light, the fish will pull in there, and those kind of buzzy frogs are a really great way to do it. And you can also cover a lot of water. They fish very similarly to a buzz bait if you're looking to fish fast. Just two more to show you here. Another favorite of mine is actually a small walking bait, something about this size. I throw this color quite honestly because I've just always thrown this color. I've done well on it. I got a bunch of them. But a bait like this weighs about 5/8 of an ounce and can really cover some water quickly. Really great around scattered grass as well as around hard cover like docks or stumps. One tip with these, again, I throw these on braided line, 6.5 foot medium action rod, is when you go to walk them, you want to get the cadence down of just a twitch, twitch, twitch. If you twitch harder and then softer, you can actually walk these in one direction or the other and get them under things like overhanging trees. It's something that'll put a couple extra fish in the boat for you this summer. And the last one I want to touch base on and let you all know about is one of my favorites, and this is a style of bait that actually the musky fishermen have been throwing for quite some time, but just recently came around to the bass world, and this is just a topwater crawler. I like to throw a big one. I like to throw a big loud color. And I throw this on 50-pound line with a 7'1" medium heavy rod that's actually set up for jig or worm fishing. But it does great with this style bait, this size here. It's got big hooks. And this is a big fish bait. This is the type of bait you throw that if you're looking for a 5, 6, or 7-pounder, this is what you want to throw. It's got a big profile. It gets big bites. And you'll still get some smaller fish on it, but most of the fish you'll see on this bait will be 2.5 pounds or better. And I'd really encourage you to pick one of these up and throw them this season. That kind of summarizes what I like to fish for topwaters. Hoping to get out there as the water gets a bit warmer. Hope to see you out there and hope you learned something from this video. And remember to get out there and catch some of the big fish that Virginia has to offer. We've got a variety of different lakes, anything from our big reservoirs to some of our smaller lakes that are department owned. And if you put your time in, I think you've got a good chance of catching a 7 or an 8 pounder this summer. Thanks. I'll see you out there.